Hi, everyone. My name is Jasmine Burton, and I'm here today to talk dirty. Because knowing where the bathroom is right now makes you amongst the world's privileged half that has continued access to a toilet. So let's talk about sanitation. You know, the elephant in the room, the one that's often silenced by cultural taboos and discussed, despite the fact that of the 7 billion people in our world today, everybody poops, right? But unfortunately, over 2 billion people currently do not have access to a safe or hygienic toilet, and they're expected to use these unsustainable pit latrines or holes in the ground, or to openly defecating, which leads to a host of both mental and physical health problems. And this unfortunate reality disproportionately impacts the livelihoods of women, girls, and other socially excluded groups. Girls will frequently drop out of school when they reach puberty because of the lack of products and facilities that enable them to manage their menstruation safely and with dignity. And due to gendered expectations, women will often wait until nighttime to go to the bathroom, which leaves them vulnerable and subject to violence. And I learned about the enormity of this issue as a freshman attendee at the Georgia Tech Women's Leadership Conference, where I was called to action to utilize the human-centered design skill set that I was learning in my product design degree program to help bring innovation to sanitation with a gender equity lens. 3 years later, I led the first all-female team to win the Georgia Tech Inventure Prize competition, which is the largest undergraduate invention competition in the United States. We showcased our Safi Chu toilet design, which is a modular toilet, and I went on to found Wish for Wash, which is a social impact organization that's youth-led and women-led to help bring this innovation to sanitation. We piloted our toilet in a refugee camp in Kenya, as well as in a peri-urban community in Lusaka, Zambia, in addition to resettled refugee communities near Atlanta, Georgia. And social inclusion has remained integral to our work as we followed the cyclical phases of human-centered design. And these phases are largely inspiration, ideation, implementation, and iteration. So we started with inspiration by talking to over 50 water, sanitation, and hygiene or WASH experts, or people living with poor WASH infrastructure, with a focus on women to really get a better feel for some of the problems that exist within this space. We learned that the ceramic sit toilets that we're perhaps used to are often inaccessible in resource-constrained communities due to the product cost and to the unpredictable water access. And we also found out that in some communities, these ceramic sit toilets are seen as art or utilized as glorified flower pots. So we learned that there's a lot of cultural nuance when it comes to sanitation, product, and service provision. We then moved into the ideation phase, which in design usually requires a lot of sticky notes, a lot of idea generation, and quick sketches to really start thinking about potential solutions to some of the problems that were identified in the inspiration phase. And the Safi Chu toilet was born from this process. We then moved into implementation, where we implemented the 1.0 model of our toilet in Kenya and the 2.0 model in Zambia and Atlanta, with a focus on female-headed households, translators, and farmers. And through these various pilots, we continue to collect feedback from our users and have and continue to iterate our product based on that user feedback. So human-centered design is a process that is helping Wish for Wash, as well as a host of other organizations, truly strive towards sustainable social inclusion in our work. And it can be used beyond the scope of just product design, right? So it can be used in how we iterate our human resource practices and our supply chains to be more inclusive and user-friendly for all people. It could be used in how we plan for our monitoring and evaluation programs so that sex and age disaggregated data are planned for from the start. It could be used in how we iterate our organizational pipelines for leadership, because representation matters. At the onset of my Wish for Wash journey, I learned that design is inherently optimistic, and that is its power. It's about reframing problems into opportunities and about making progress accessible to real people and being open to real feedback. It's about failing fast, failing cheap, and failing forward to move the needle of change as sustainably as possible. So with that, I now ask you, how will you use the power of human-centered design in your work and in your life at large in the name of inclusion and equity? As for me, I'm excited to continue my work with my amazing professional communities of support, including my Wish for Wash team, in bringing innovation to sanitation. But I'm also excited to continue to sit more confidently in my truth, where I'm personally forever iterating and am always becoming. So with that, I invite you to join me in the fight for improved sanitation for all, because everybody poops. Thank you so much.